look who decided to show up, Tracey Edmonds. Ooh, that's what I'm talking about.
It worked. I'm here. This is my first time I'm doing this.
You weren't nervous, were you?
Yeah, I was nervous about the technology. I'm like, is it gonna work? Because I'm way out here in the country.
How can you be nervous about technology? This is like what binds us all together. You are the queen of technology. You're the queen of content. You are the goddess of entertainment. I mean, you've done so much in your life. I mean, this is just another medium for you. I can't wait for you to come up with a new TV show or some type of type of entertainment, just utilizing IG Live.
And this is my weakness. This is where my kids normally step in and help me because I don't know all the social media gadgets and all that kind of stuff.
Well, look,
I'm trying to turn you up. Let me see if I can turn your volume up.
Oops. There's so many of these platforms that are out here, and now because of COVID-19 and everybody just doing self-quarantine, this is like the way that it's like if you narrowly focus in on the screen, it almost feels as though you're sitting right there in a chair and I'm right here in my office. That's where the world is going.
I feel you. A lot of my friends are doing parties, like virtual parties and stuff, and cocktail hour and stuff.
You have to. That's the only way you're gonna stay sane.
I know, right?
Okay, so for everybody, if you can point the camera. Wait, let me just a quick production feature. If you can point the camera, I think just a little bit down a little bit because we don't want you to be like this.
Okay.
Like, I can do this. How's that look? Yeah, perfect. We want to frame you perfectly. It's like that blue gem against the cobalt blue fan over top of the stove.
This is my lucky necklace from Peru.
So,
and I know you're the world traveler, so.
has it brought you good luck?
It has. I'm happy and blessed, and so it's all good. Machu Picchu.
Did you walk?
Heck yeah. Yep.
How long did it take you?
We climbed. We didn't climb from the bottom, but we climbed like halfway, and it took us a couple of hours. It's hard because there's a lot of steps too.
Were you tired? I mean, I remember when I went to the base camp at Mount Everest, and it was just unbelievably tiring. Not only because just the altitude, but I just felt like every part of my body weighed 1,000 pounds.
Yeah, it's the altitude thing too, because you're like way up there, and so you're not used to breathing at that altitude. So like you breathe a lot heavier.
And then it gets really annoying. And I know you're a fitness junkie because I know you like to practice your yoga, your meditation, and you're always in shape. And it's the worst is when you get up to altitude and you just realize it doesn't matter how much you've done as a workout. There are people that look like they're in worse shape than you that are passing you, and then people that are in better shape than you that are behind you. It doesn't make any sense. It's like a whole nother world when you get to altitude.
That is so true. And even I took those little altitude pills, but you can still tell the difference.
Definitely. All right. So Tracey Edmonds. All right. So for all of you who are joining us, thank you so much for spending a little bit of time right here on Stand Together Live. My name is Dhani Jones. I'm just trying to bring you some levels of encouragement and motivation as we're all sitting here self-quarantine. And I'm here today with none other than Tracey Edmonds. She's an amazing television and film producer. Music is unbelievable. Emmy award winner, entrepreneur. But I think if you were to kind of describe yourself, I would say that you would describe yourself as a mother, right? You are an amazing mom to two amazing boys who love you dearly, and she's just such a family-oriented woman, Tracey, and you've done such an amazing job. So thank you so much for joining the show.
I'm so excited, and people don't know that you and I are old friends, and we go
way back.
We go way back. And so I'm so excited because I haven't seen you in years. And so it's the best to reconnect with you, and like kudos to you on all the stuff you've been doing. And I saw your world travel show. And so like you doing your thing. It's awesome.
Well, I know you look the same. I'm a little bit grayer with a little bit more hair on my face. My hair is pretty much the same,
But you know what? Okay, so speaking of gray, like I'm covering little things up right now, and so I call them sparklies, but the sparklies have been growing out, and I'm like covering them up. So it's
You're
all
like,
good.
me,
Yeah.
I'm just letting them go. I just like let it go to the wind. I just love the gray.
Well,
I
you're
call it,
looking good, sir.
thank you. I appreciate that. Man, that means a lot coming from you. So for those that are joining from your channel, a lot of people from Stand Together know a lot about what we're doing. But for those that are joining from your channel, we launched Give Together now for this very purpose and reason, so that we can hear from amazing individuals like yourself about how you're dealing with self quarantine and how you're taking care of your family, but more importantly, just to be able to give those nuggets to the community in terms of how to thrive during this time. A lot of people we've had a great fortunate opportunity to interview a lot of people. Andrew Zimmern yesterday talked about sort of the nobility of kindness. Sean Johnson just talked about her family life with her new baby, new baby girl. Jimmy Chin, I know you probably know Jimmy Chin. He was on, he's the creator of Free Solo and was talking about isolation, how he's been through it. I mean, there's Cortez Bryant. You know Cortez Bryant from
I don't. Who's that?
From Young Money Entertainment and
Okay.
CEO of Blueprint. But we've had Nancy Lieberman. I know you know Nancy Lieberman.
I know. I love Nancy Lieberman. She's amazing. And she's
Right.
out here. Yeah.
So her and her son, TJ Klein, were on the show, and they were just talking about how they work out together. But we're raising money for Give Together Now, and which is a COVID response, cash direct to families that are truly in need. And I just want to let you know the number that we've crossed. So wait for it.
Go ahead.
Wait for it.
Okay.
So we started off with a contribution of $5 million that kicked off by Stand Together. Now we're at $41.718 million.
Look at you! Woohoo!
41.7. I have to be specific. You know why? Because these are $500 cash checks that are going directly into the hands of people that are needed.
Those are a lot of people giving. Which
exactly.
Is beautiful.
So 83,438 people.
Amazing.
83,438 people get checks for $500. So
people need it right now. So that is so beautiful to hear. That's great.
Well, something else they need is words of inspiration, and we need to raise as much awareness as possible. And that's, like I said, this is why we have this wonderful, amazing opportunity to spend some time with you. I think I'm delaying a little bit. I don't know what exactly happened. I came back. It's all good. So as you've been home, as you are in the entertainment world, you see me now? Am I back?
I see you now. Yes.
Okay, cool.
You're
sometimes
back.
sometimes it'll glitch in and out depending upon how many people are jumping on and off the Wi-Fi. But getting right into our conversation, being that you're a part of entertainment, what shows have you been binge watching while you've been at home?
You know what? We've been doing a lot of Netflix, just like everybody else is, and just like the entire world, we binge watched Tiger King. So that was that was a big thing. I got Dion to watch it also. And so we went through that. Like we stayed up all night and watched all those episodes. And then we watched the bonus episode too.
You did?
The cast. Oh yeah. We were into it. We wanted to know more. So we watched that last little bonus episode, but we were obsessed. Guilty pleasure. That was our guilty pleasure. I mean, did you see it?
I got to see Tiger King. That's the craziest show I've ever seen. And I'm trying to figure out, like, when's the next episode going to come out? We need more Tiger King.
You know what? It's the best because it's just like craziness that just takes your mind off of the real craziness going on in this world. And so it's a nice escape. So it was great. So we did that. We watched this other Malcolm X thing too.
Okay. And how was that?
The Who Killed Malcolm X one. That was really good too. We've been doing a lot of documentaries.
I think it's an important time when, and this is something that Andrew Zimmern talked about, you have to be able to lean into your passions, right? During our time of self-quarantine. And I think just as much as, I'm leaning into being able to interview amazing people like yourself, you're leaning into the world of creativity, which you've been a part of, but you've been working you've been working a long time. You've been working, well, actually, sorry, let me phrase this differently. You've been working only for a short bit of time. I mean, you started when you were like 13, so it hasn't been that long, right?
That's right. So don't age me, Dhani. I saw you saved yourself. You saved yourself. Yeah, I hate, but you know, now it's like I can pretend like I'm younger than I am, but they can Google me. So the secret's out. The secret's out. I'm past that 5 mark, so the secret's out.
But you've been working. You've been working for a while. I mean,
really
why'd you find a need to start working so early? Because I remember when I was young, I was picking up sticks. I was cleaning gutters. I was washing cars. I was mowing lawns. I mean, where did you find the need to sort of commit your world to work?
You know what? So I was raised in a single parent mom household. And so it was my mom, my brother, and I, and we struggled. My dad, you know, he was an amazing father. He gave us child support and stuff, but we still struggled. And so we lived in an apartment in Long Beach for quite a few years. I went through eviction notices, getting the phone cut off, you know, electricity cut off, all that kind of stuff. And so as soon as I was able to work, and I looked a little older at the time than my real age. And so like, you know, at 13, I looked like I was 16. So as soon as I was able to work, my mom worked it out with her employer for them to hire me also. So at 13, I was working at a mortgage company where they were doing home loans. And I started off as the receptionist, answering phones and photocopying. And then I was a quick study, and believe it or not, Dhani, like a year or so after working there, I started processing loans. So I was qualifying. I learned how to qualify people for home loans when I was a teenager. So that kind of like kicked off the whole entrepreneur thing. So I've been working ever since 13.
Wow. I mean, just to be so, just to have that sense that you could be able to contribute, but also the fact that your mom recognized that she had a daughter with this unique ability to kind of find her way through and have that entrepreneurial spirit. And to be honest, if it were now, and if you were in this time with your family back then, you would be someone that might qualify for Give Together Now, right? You were talking.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, absolutely. Because I think a lot of people think for some reason that I came from a wealthy family or a privileged family or whatever, but you know, single parent mom household. I went to public school the whole way through, but I was always a hustler. And because I wanted more when I grew up, and you know, and I wanted to not have to struggle the same way that we were struggling, I was always ambitious to like, okay, let me get a scholarship to college. Let me go to college. And then I worked my way through college. I kept processing loans, Dhani. So this was in the financial.
Wait, are you talking about like in your dorm room? And wait, and by the way, let me make sure I say this while you get into this.
Yes.
Like you went to Stanford.
I did. Yes. And so I was very blessed. I got a scholarship to Stanford, and so I finished high school and went to college at 16. But we were still struggling.
Wait, 16?
At 16. Yep. So we didn't have much money still, and so I had to work my way through college. So I started processing like student loans. So they knew I had a loan background. So I worked in the financial aids department doing that. So
you go from a family where you've been challenged, but you stepped up entrepreneurially. You moved into sort of this world of college education where you decided to kind of step outside your comfort zone, because Stanford probably was a little bit different of a community than the one you might have been a part of it as you grew up.
Yeah. So when I applied to college, because I was young, I didn't want to go outside of California. So I applied to UCLA, SC, and Stanford. And my dad had actually graduated from UCLA. So I wanted to go to UCLA. And I had to be talked into going to Stanford. So they brought me out there for a visit, and I went to all the parties and everything. And I was like, 16, okay, I'll go there.
You were 16. You shouldn't have been going to all those parties. Okay, I know you looked a little bit older.
Yeah,
but you shouldn't be going to all those parties. But needless to say, it was a great experience.
It was a great choice. I'm so glad that I ended up deciding to go there. It was just incredible experience. Like, I would not be the person that I am now if I had not had that education. And I studied abroad in Italy, and I, had a lot of life experiences.
I think I always tell people, it's your history that defines who you are. I mean, you can change who you want to become by like looking at your current life and where you want to go. But a lot of the foundation of who you are comes from that background that you've been able to have. And I think that also kind of transitioned you from the home loan, student loan side and into the music industry. I mean, how do you kind of make that leap? Because all I'm seeing is like, okay, she goes from one job to the next job to the next job. There's definitely sort of like this seam. What was the one seam from what you did before to sort of the music industry where things started to really take off?
Well, you know what? My life has had so many unexpected chapters. Like, it's like every time I think I'm headed in one direction, God, intervenes and says, hey, no, this is what I want you to do. So after Stanford, I went to Stanford pre-med. So I thought I was going to be a doctor. Then I decided I'm going to take a year off and become a real estate broker. So I did that for a while. Then at 22, I met my ex-husband. And so at 22, I moved up to LA and, was, bumped into Babyface, and that kind of trajectory in a different direction.
Wait, because I know, because I saw your show. I saw the Being Tracey Edmonds, and it wasn't exactly like you just bumped into Babyface.
Well, did we have time? That was the abridged version.
No, because I think I know it's a abridged version, but there's something that we think about from Stand Together that is related to this notion of unique gifts. And as I kind of referenced a little bit before, your mother knew you had this unique gift and she bet on you, much like your brother did. And you had this this moment where your mother saw something, I think. No, she saw something in you. I think this is valuable. And I don't want to get too deep into it, but there's something powerful about your family seeing where they want you to be, right? And what they believe that you can do. And regardless if that was at a young age or whether that was in your transition through your marriage and as you built your company, she put you in the perfect position to thrive. And I think you made an amazing jump into the music industry and doing that. I mean, I remember reading about how you launched John B and thinking about the music that he represented. Well, I mean, I know people know that, but talk about that, because I think that's something so critical to your entrepreneurial spirit.
Okay, so I will kind of expand on this story, okay? So my mom always wanted me, Dhani, to actually be on camera. And so, like, I was the nerd studying to be like a doctor or something. And my mom, for some reason, wanted me to be, an actress or in the entertainment business, okay? And so true story is we're moving up to LA, and we had the real estate company then. My mom and I were partners. We had a sales office and a mortgage company. We're moving our business up to LA. Weekend that we're moving, my mom's in the car with me, and we bump into Babyface. And I originally had met someone that knew him before, and it wanted me to audition for a music video. And so in February of 1990, I was supposed to be in this Whoop a Pill video because someone approached me at a mall, and then I never did the video. And then by May, I ran into Kenny moving up to LA, and it was a coincidence because I was supposed to have been in this video, and then I bumped into him. So then my mom was the one that said, hey, and my daughter's moving to LA, and she's supposed to be in your video, and you guys, you should do some business. She's doing real estate. And so she gives him my card. And then we go out to dinner, and then we start dating, and then he becomes my husband. And that changed my trajectory from doing real estate into doing entertainment, because I started learning about music and music publishing. And so I started a music publishing company, signed John B. And then John B became my first artist.
John B. Was it double platinum, and then some of his songs went to what, TLC and Michael Jackson, and
Oh my
the
God.
list goes on and on.
Those were the days. And so he was my first writer that I signed to my music publishing company. And then, you know, John wanted to sing. And so, so we cut a demo tape. I took the demo tape to Sony Music, and then my publishing company grew into a record label. And because I was just his publisher at first, and I was placing his songs on all the artists and stuff. And then come to find out he sang too. And then, you know, beginner's luck to Dhani. And so we ended up with a platinum artist as my first artist. And then, you know, we had an amazing time together. And so like, I was, you know, I loved his music so much. So it was a joy working with him.
And what I love so much about the story of John B is that you saw something in him before other people saw it. And well, you took a chance on him.
Yeah, and you know what? Thank you for saying that, because I really feel like John, he was like the first one. He was pre-Robin Thicke, you know, he was
Justin
Timberlake.
Right,
even though I loved them, I love me some Robin Thicke, and I love me some Justin Timberlake.
There it is.
Yes, but John, actually, he was the first white soul boy.
That's what I wanted you to say, because there's a lot of people that didn't believe in that crossover, and you essentially began sort of that new genre of music where people were like, wait a minute, other people that don't traditionally fit the mold of what soul music is supposed to sound like and look like, you saw some of that gift within John B.
Yeah, and you know what? Thank you for saying that, because my background musically, like if you were around me growing up, I was half R&B and then half kind of like that yacht rock, pop rock type stuff. And so
I love yacht rock. That's one of my favorite. I love yacht rock.
So you get it. So on any day, you might catch me growing up listening to some Earth, Wind and Fire, some Stevie Wonder, but then you may also catch me listening to the Doobie Brothers, or, you know, Daryl Hall and John Oates, you know, Kenny Loggins, you know, and so John
you're talking directly to me, because the Yacht Rock channel that I listen to all the time has Doobie Brothers, all those guys. Just like, that's what I listen to, and just gets me amped. You're ahead of the curve.
Me too. I listen to that in the summer. It comes on in LA in the summer, and that's my jam in the summer. So John, you know, like he fit, you know, all of those flavors and stuff, and he was so brilliant, because I signed John when he was 18. And so he was straight out of high school, and John, you know, he came in to the publishing company with 100 songs at age 18. And so I became his publisher and was like, hey, okay, this is good for TLC. This song is good for Diana Ross. This song is good for Johnny Gill. And so we, you know, he and I together, we were, you know, rolling and working hard.
Wait, Johnny Gill?
Yeah.
Who else?
It was like, you know,
I am awe-inspired, because I don't think a lot of people know that John B had 100 songs, and he was helping all the. That's amazing. Look, we can go down the whole route of the music industry, because it's a complicated one, but for everybody,
it's changed so much too.
Yeah, and for everybody that's out there, that's amazing. So let's finish up a little bit of the entertainment world, and how you were such a change maker, and how you found unique gifts in other people, just like your mother found that unique gift in you. Soul food, that was another game changer as well.
Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, that's just another blessing, where I went from having the record label, I started music supervising films. So I got the script for Soul Food for me to music supervise. And so I read the script, and I was like, oh my God, the script is so good. What are you guys doing with it? Like, is anybody producing it? And so I said, hey, George Tillman was the writer that wrote the script, and he became our director also. So I was like, if you let me produce this, I'll still do the soundtrack. And so then I took the script all over Hollywood, and everybody kept saying no to us. And so, and I had called up personal relationships and kind of casted the film too. I had, like, Vivica Fox and I were friends, and Vanessa Williams and Nia Long and Mekhi Phifer. And so we had put the cast together, And then still all the studios were like, no, because at that point they weren't making African American family films. Like, and they always look at like, what's the comparable to this film? And there weren't any comparables at the time. It was like New Jack City, Boys in the Hood, things like that. But like, you know, the family drama relationship type formula hadn't been proven yet. So they had to take a chance with soul food. And finally, Fox 2000, Laura Ziskin, female, you know, studio executive, she read the script and believed in me. And that's what, you know, we keep talking about, like, you know, you just giving someone a chance and believing in someone. And so she gave me my first shot at doing a movie, producing a movie. And she knew I hadn't done it before, but she just, you know, she said, you know what? She said, I think you can do this. And so, so we, you know, we ended up shooting that film. I think it was 1995, I think 96, something like that. Yeah, I'm aging myself, but it's like, you know, and that was my first film, and beginner's luck again.
I'm blown away because I keep replaying it back in my mind, and it's like this door that swings open one way, and then all of a sudden, when everybody else is on that side, you flip it back the other way, and then you just kind of flip it back again. And that's what soul food was. I mean, there is a need for everybody to understand the power of the positive Black family on the movies, but everybody else kind of shut you down. I mean, you proved to them through the awards that you all were able to garner. And I think there was another interview that was just talking about how you did the screen test, because it's not easy to convince studio executives to produce a movie. But when you go out on a limb, you do a live screen test, sometimes it changes the overall outcome.
Yeah, no, we didn't. I don't know. They may have mistaken in the article. We didn't have to do a screen test for this.
Okay.
So basically Laura Ziskin, you know, based off the script, the cast, and the story, you know, she greenlit it. And let me
that's how it happened. Okay. Because when I watched it, it was like they brought in the live audience, they watched it, it scored really high.
Oh, okay, you know what you're talking about? You're talking about the focus test. So so after
wrong verbiage. I apologize.
No.
16 years old going to Stanford. You know, I was 18 going to the University of Michigan. I apologize.
Stop it. But you know what? You're right. I'm glad you brought the focus test up, because that was my first experience focus testing. So when you produce the movie, you finish the movie, you don't know if people are going to like it or not. Okay. And you're just hoping and praying that people respond. So then you do a focus test, and they screen it at a movie theater in front of a live audience. And you're there watching your film with the live audience for the first time. You don't know if they're going to like it. You don't know if they're going to hate it. You don't know if they're going to like laugh at your jokes in the movie. You don't know if they're going to, you know, and I was watching it, and every time they laughed when they were supposed to, I was like, oh my God. And then I saw people crying, and I was like, oh my God, they're connecting. And so, so we, out of a score between 0 and 100, we scored like, I think a 97 or something. And I was shocked. And I was like, you know, and then when you score high, then they end up putting marketing money behind you. And then the studio promotes your film. And so we had a big premiere where we had a whole concert performance afterwards, and we had all the artists from the soundtrack perform at House of Blues. And so it was, I mean, we were blessed, and, you know, people received it, and it became this kind of big movement, you know, especially, you know, not only really with Black families, but also it crossed over, you know, because family values are family values. And so the importance of having each other's back and being there for each other and, you know, sticking together, that is a universal theme that families connected to, you know, across America and across the world now.
So we're going to transition into family values, but also talking about community values. That's what we think about from Stand Together. But I just wanted to, you know, as everybody has joined right now, talking to Tracey Edmonds, I just wanted to give you an update as Give Together Now has affected the lives of so many. Go to givetogethernow.org. But there's a specific person that we wanted to kind of highlight. And this is what's so great about, you know, not only giving money, but also raising awareness and talking to amazing individuals like yourself. But Lamont, small business owner in Orlando, Florida. So just kind of give you some context.
Okay.
There are people all over. He was diagnosed with COVID-19, and because of that, he had to stop working. Luckily, he recovered, but was not sure how he would stay afloat after not working for 2 weeks. He says, when I received the call about the grant funds, I felt a measure of relief. I will use this much needed money to pay some of my monthly expenses. I'm grateful for your support and generosity. So, you know, through these conversations and the funds that are raised, those are the types of stories that we love to hear and tell to so many people, because that's what, you know, we want to give 100% of the money to families that are in need. And just for everybody that's joining right now, we've raised a total of $41.718 million, and it just keeps going up, and it's powerful, and it's a testament to the strength of America within our communities, right? It's a testament to the family values, those same community values, and I think that's what was so powerful about Soul Food is you instilled, or you gave people through a narrative of a movie something that they too could believe in.
Well, yeah, I mean, you know, I appreciate you saying that. It's just, I mean, times like this remind us all of what is really important in life. It's the time when you really do a lot of reflecting and prioritize things and put things in the right perspective, and you realize that all the materialistic stuff, the cars, you know, the bling bling, you know, all that kind of stuff doesn't matter, you know, in a time like this. And you start practicing gratitude like we should be doing on a daily basis, you know, but you start becoming thankful for everything that you have and you still have, and you look at your kids differently, and you look at your spouse and your loved ones differently, and you're just like, thank you, God, for all these blessings, and thank you for keeping us healthy, you know, during a time like this. It's like so many people have suffered loss, you know, it just breaks my heart, you know, and so it just makes you want to just hold on and stay close to, you know, all those that we take for granted, you know, sometimes.
Why is it important, just like Soul Food was able to tell the story of a family, why is it important for people at home to tell their stories as well in a similar fashion to Soul Food?
You mean to tell their stories about their families, or?
Yeah, well, why is it important
like
for people to kind of to share their story, and why is it important for people to voice what's happened in their life? I mean, that's what this is all about.
Well,
and
I think people need to understand that, I mean, first of all, anything is possible, you know, and so I'm a very spiritual person, and, you know, I thank God every day for my blessings and stuff. But, you know, you look at things that even me, that I went through, you know, in my life, and I never would have imagined that, you know, I would grow up and be able to do what I'm doing right now, and, you know, my career, and that I'd have kids, and you just know, you know, you don't know, you know, what's to come. So even when you're down on your luck, and even when you're going through tough times, as long as you believe in yourself and you practice gratitude, and you're thankful for what you have, and you keep going after it, you can get it. Like, anything is possible, you know, in life. And so, you know, I think times like this, it's important to hear each other's stories. And so, like, you know, and for me, you know, as a Black woman in this industry, like, I want people to know, like, look, I went to Black public schools my whole life, you know, and we had eviction notices. We had phones cut off. I had to lie and pretend like there were phone problems in the area when the phone cut off. It was like, you know, like, and, you know, anything is possible. So I just want to, like, through times like this, give everybody hope. And Dhani, I don't know if you know, but I've suffered a lot of loss, you know, in the last couple of years with my family too. Like, I lost my mom and my father back to back, you know, within a 2-year block. And so unfortunately, I've been through a lot of loss too. And so I know what that feels like. And the only thing I can tell people who are suffering loss is what helps get you through it is just being grateful for what you still have.
How did the loss of your parents affect you? I mean, obviously it affects you emotionally, spiritually, just across the board, but what came of that? Because I take you for a person that change happens and you create this metamorphosis, right? You kind of create this change and something else occurs. So what happened after that?
Well, I mean, I think if, in all honesty, it brought me even closer to God, because I did a lot of praying during that time period, because there's a lot of emotion, and there's a void and an emptiness, that you feel when you lose someone. Then there's that realization that life is never going to be the same again. And so, those morning phone calls when you call your mom or your dad to check in, or when you're driving, it really, life is just never, ever the same again. And so you have to kind of adapt to the new normal, and then I kind of had to realize that I'm kind of like the head of the family now for everybody. And so now, Thanksgiving meals and Christmas meals, I don't really cook, Dhani, but everybody comes over to my house.
You got that
now.
beautiful kitchen back there. You better use it.
You know what? I'm learning. I've been making breakfast at least. And so during this quarantine,
Okay.
I've been making some, turkey bacon and eggs, and for Dion mainly. I'm a cereal eater.
You're like, I just need my Frosted Flakes. That's what,
Right.
that's what we had Dara Torres, Olympian. She was on the show, and she was on the cover of cover of Corn Flakes and also Wheaties. So maybe you have one of her Wheaties boxes. She's another amazing woman that's basically transcended time and is the very definition of the Olympics. Being there 5 times over.
Amazing.
What were some of the last things, and if you don't want to go down this route, talk about your parents, but I think it's important, those conversations, those moments, when you were, moving through the television world, when you're moving through the entertainment world, the conversations that you had with your mother and your father, something that they gave you, because there's people that are sitting at home right now that are moving through the new norm, right? The change, right? It's all of a sudden, it's we talk about it in football, and you can, and I didn't tell everybody, Deion Sanders, he's around there somewhere. Neon, he's around there. I know.
He's outside right now. So I was like, get out of here. So let me do my thing this morning. So he's outside.
Well, if he wants to make a cameo, that's completely cool. But we talk about the quick change, right? That's what we talk about in football. And you had a bunch of quick changes in your life, and your parents have given you some nuggets. So what were one of the things that they told you?
Well, I mean, my mom, she also had an entrepreneurial spirit and stuff. And so she was always she was the one that had, worked at the mortgage company and all that kind of stuff. And she and I together started our little real estate company and stuff. And so my mom she had a lot of courage. So, and she was really brave. She had high self-esteem, and she believed in herself. And so I think she handed that down to me, to be courageous and brave, and don't be afraid of taking risks in life. And so, so me kind of segueing from real estate into an entirely different industry, the entertainment industry, and taking that big leap and that big risk, that comes from my mom. And even when I went on camera to co-host Extra, again,
Extra. I couldn't resist.
That was my 3-year chapter. And so again, I really didn't want to be on camera, because I really felt more comfortable being behind the scenes. But that was my mom kind of being like, don't be afraid, take that leap, you'll learn something. And so you do learn lessons with every risk that you take. And so some things work out, some things don't. Even when things don't work out so well, you have learned a lesson from it, and what you will do differently the next time. So my mom, again, if I got anything from my mom, it's definitely believe in yourself, don't be afraid of change, don't be afraid to take risks. My father, what I got from him, and people, I don't know if you know, Dhani, but I come from a sports background also, because my dad was a college basketball coach.
Okay.
So he was a coach. And so he had a, coach's mentality, and he was very disciplined, was always on time, which is something I still need to work on. And I'm sure Dion would have something smart to say about that. He was here. Yeah, She sure does. Yeah, because I'm always notorious for running late for things and stuff. And so like my dad tried to get me a little bit more disciplined, but my dad also too, he was the one that really just appreciated life. Like we do family road trips growing up. And so we'd be driving along the coast, and he's the Chevy Chase national vacation dude. Look at all this. Look at all this. Look at this ocean. Look at these mountains. So he taught me to like just really appreciate the world and appreciate life. And so, by the way, we've kept our family road trip as a tradition and stuff. So we still every summer we go up the coast of California.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I think there's going to be a lot of people that are going to take some family vacations, as once we come out of quarantine, and be able to continue spending this time, because I think that's part of this silver lining of where we are right now. So let's our last part of this, and I want to make sure we get to this. Talk about your new project.
Well, I'm really excited. I've got lots of new stuff in 2020, and so if we can just get back to work, it's going to be an amazing creative year. And so we're in pre-production right now. Season 2, Games People Play, which is our show, our soapy drama series that we have on BET.
Can I make a cameo?
Yes, please.
Can I get in there?
I got just the role for you too.
You got a role. You got a role for me?
That.
Okay.
But that's our series. Sharonis Jackson, Lauren London, Parker McKenna Posey, Jackie Long, an amazing cast. And so we're going into season 2 on that. And then also prepping for a road trip thriller that I'm doing with Netflix with Queen Latifah called End of the Road, Family Road Trip Gone Wrong. So
the family road trip gone wrong?
Yeah. There's a horror side to it.
You have plenty of content. So you have, people always talking about like, well, is it the movies represent the life represents the movie? You're pulling from real life situations. I'm sure there's some things that happen, but you have also All Right Now.
Yes, I do.
And I love the intent behind it. Could you tell everybody about that as well?
Yeah, so All Right Now is my health and wellness website / channel. And so we talk about health, fitness, spirituality, career, relationships. And so I really pull a lot from myself and my own life's journey. And so everything that I talk about, I practice what I preach. And so you'll see me on a lot of the videos and stuff where I'm talking about the benefits of yoga that makes you not only like makes your body strong, but you spiritually. Do you do yoga? Namaste?
Namaste. I do my yoga. I'm trying to stay flexible at my young age.
I love it. Well, speaking of young, is we're trying to like slow down the aging process on All Right Now. So I'm kind of teaching tricks on how to slow things down, how to build your immune system, which is also so important to Dhani in this time, with us going through the coronavirus pandemic, is really building your immune system so that you can like handle and stay strong through all this. And so I've been very blessed, and Dion will tell you, I haven't had a cold or a flu in like 20 years.
What?
So yeah, I'm serious. And so it's really about like taking the right supplements and, and exercising and, keeping yourself strong, healthy.
Well, I have to say I have to get on that. I make sure I do more yoga. I'm just doing a couple of my workouts here and there, making sure I'm trying to stay as healthy as possible. So I will make sure I go to the site. And I just want to give a couple shout outs. Barry Brewer Jr. is on in the background. Katrina Taylor is in the background. People love you. That committed following. It's because you transcend time, Tracey. You transcend time.
What? We're like family. I always call everybody like my social media family and stuff. And so, and I've actually made a lot of friendships like offline from people that I've met on social media. So it's a beautiful thing. So
one of the things that I think about all the time, and for everybody else, we're going to get to questions after this next question. So everybody that's in the room right now, if you just ask a bunch of questions and we'll get to them, and we'll ask Tracey. We only have a couple more minutes. I really appreciate you just taking the time. But I guess my biggest question before we get to the questions of other people is why? I mean, you've done so much. You flipped the script so many different times, and you just continue to iterate, and you make so many people better along the way,
Oh,
right?
thank you.
Everywhere you go, it's like this trail of change that not only benefits yourself, but it's also a win-win because it helps other people as well. And I like, why?
You know what? The people that really know me know, I'm a curious person. I'm a creative person, and I like to learn things and try new things all the time. I like to keep evolving. And
Mm.
so for me, I've been so blessed in my career to have been able to do something in music and then parlay that into the music supervising and then producing. And I've been able to do plays. Like, well, one time I, collaborated with David Talbert, and I said, hey, let's do a play together. So I wanted to do live stage. I had a chance to do that. And then, and then I watched trends. And so even like, I've been talking a lot about College Hill on my social media page because I was watching the trend when reality shows first started emerging, on the air. And I went to BET and said, hey, you guys need to get
Right.
on this. And so I
already made you one hit. Time to
one.
make another one.
Yeah, so we were like the first reality show, and so the first Black reality show. So I like to just kind of like be there to keep trying different things. And streaming and the internet is moving so fast, and so I'm developing some content for the digital side of things too.
Well, maybe we can collaborate, try to figure out something. I don't know. I got some ideas.
I do too.
So the audience has a couple questions. Wee Man Wanders. If you had to choose one country to visit, what would it be? I think you talked about Italy. You went across the country. Like what place?
India. I've never been to India, and that's on my bucket list. And so, especially kind of doing, yoga and meditating and all that kind of stuff, I really want to go to the country, where it emerged from, and really learn more about the history and see all the amazing places and meet all the amazing people of India. That's my next spot.
Okay, India. All right. This one is perfect. So That Girl So Fly. Will there ever be live yoga sessions during quarantine? I think this is perfect.
You know what? That's actually a really good idea. Right? Because I don't think I'm going to be able to physically work Dhani until like June or something. And who knows, LA maybe even later.
Right.
But I do need to take advantage of this time and start teaching some yoga and stuff. And so and it makes some interactive yoga sessions happen, right? Are you going to be my first student?
I will be your first student. I will be your first student.
You guys heard that.
Look, I will be your first student. I think that's amazing idea, and I think that's right in line with what you've been able to sort of help people along the way. Because even if you haven't done yoga your entire life, yoga is about taking care of yourself inside so that you can help those that are outside. And so you've been preaching that the entire way. So I just want to say thank you for coming on Stand Together Live. This has been phenomenal.
This has been amazing for me, and I'm looking at you and I'm like, I haven't seen you in years, and so I'm just so happy that we reconnected. And that's the best thing about this quarantine is like people are like calling people that they haven't spoken to in a long time. You're checking up on people you went to elementary school with.
Right. I called my elementary school teacher 6th grade, but I guess that's middle school.
Right.
I called her.
I believe you.
Huh? She was like, is this Dhani? I was like, yes, it's Dhani. She was like, I called her out of the blue, and she lives in Virginia. But you're right, people are catching up.
Yeah,
and I think
you
have to look at this time to get better.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
And you've given us some amazing points, amazing morsels of inspiration, and everybody on this Instagram feed just keeps saying over and over, they're like, Tracey Edmonds, she's the greatest of all time. She's the greatest of all time.
I love everybody. And I just want to like add on to what you're saying. Like, let's all use this quiet, peaceful time to be our best selves. And so let's like grab that book that we always wanted to read, you know, do that research we always wanted to do, learn, whether it's if you want to learn how to play the piano, you know, whatever, learn some yoga, learn how to meditate, get closer to God. Like, let's just really use this quiet time to like really build on ourselves and stuff. And so I think that's the best thing that we can do right now, and to reconnect with people too.
You heard it from Tracey Edmonds. I think be your best self and reconnect with people. So Tracey, thank you so much to everybody. Thank you for joining. I hope everybody feels encouraged, inspired from our conversation today. Go to givettogethernow.org, contribute, give an act of kindness, be a better person once you get out of self-quarantine. And it all starts with you and your own yoga practice, as Tracey would say, and you know, spending time with your family and those that are your neighbors and friends around you. So our next episode, Tracey, you know, hopefully you'll be able to tune in, and maybe there's some people that you know in the background that might want to come on Stand Together Live to help raise some more money.
I know somebody.
And I'm gonna follow up and
right.
about a couple things. So our next episode is gonna be Tuesday, April 28th. With Chef Pate Janich. She's going to show us how to make a couple of simple and unique meals at home to help everybody during social distancing. I think you would like that show too.
Learn something too. Yeah, that's what I need to be doing. Is I need to be learning how to cook during this downtime. Come on, bettering myself. I need to better myself and learn how to cook.
Tracey, thank you.
Thank you. Thanks everybody.
It was wonderful to have you.
Bye-bye.